Good evening. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Amber Huck, joining you at Channel 52 on the Saturday night. And I'm very happy to glad and join you guys again. So thank you. Today we are actually, as you all know, it's November is in the corner. Election season are there, and we have a very vibrant candidate with us doing the interview for re-election. We have Commissioner Emanuel joining us for Paterson Board of Ed. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for joining us tonight.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So, Board of Ed election is specifically, very close to my heart because I'm, has been in the past been on, one of the candidates, and it's very close and dear to me. So, and I was very excited to have this interview as soon as when I was find out that we're doing it, and plus from the past history, I know you as a colleague, so I'm really excited for you. So, thank you for joining tonight.
No problem. Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me on your platform to talk about the different educational issues, my background, and my reelection plans. So
Awesome.
just excited to get to, having the conversation and answering questions from the public. Thank you, and thank you for whoever's tuning in.
You're very welcome. So let's dig in. I know
Yep.
people know about you, but I want to start. Can you give me your own personal story? Because as far as I know, you born, raised in Paterson. You're a father, you're a student and a resident of Paterson all your life, and you have the best interest of this city in your heart. But
hmm
let me hear it from you. What you have to say about this city, because you have invested a lifetime.
Yes, yeah. So, and thank you for that question. And it's very good to get to understand and know background, and and then that's how you get to know and understand people passion, right? So first about me, one is I was born and raised here in Paterson, New Jersey, right? My parents, kind of raised me up here in the Paterson public school system. I'm a product of the Paterson school system as well. My parents was very, very heavily influential in the community by doing different things. I'm the son of a pastor. My
Mhm.
dad was a pastor, still pastoring the church for over 40 years now,
Wow.
right there on Park Avenue. My mom is a teacher as well in the education system, not Paterson Public Schools, but she was always an educator. She was a big advocate for early childhood education, and she still is. I don't know how she do it at her age, but she still teach those 3 and 4 year olds. She's been doing it for a very, very long time.
Awesome.
I'm the
Once,
young,
once you were
yeah,
a teacher, you were a teacher.
for I'm the youngest of three. I
Mm-hmm.
have two older siblings, and I have kids of my own. I have three beautiful children, two daughters and one son, and I have a very beautiful wife. I've been married for 5 years, and she made Patterson her home and is devoted to raising her children our children in the Patterson public school system. I was before I came on in 2016, I used to work in the Paterson public school system. So I kind of gave up my job, kind of thing, right? I ran for re-election because I saw all the different inequities that was
Mm-hmm.
going on in our district. I saw one side of Paterson was getting these type of resources, this side, these in different neighborhoods wasn't getting those resources. And I said, this is wrong. Lack of teacher resources, lack of staff
Mm-hmm.
in our different schools, our facilities inadequate, and we wouldn't even kind of work in these different conditions, and a whole number of different issues. What led me to run in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and I won, and I was coaching at Eastside High School as well, so I saw it from the sports view with the lack of resources that kids wasn't getting on the field as a student athlete. I was working in the building at Eastside High School and school number 6, so I saw the differences. I won in January. Then I, had to resign from my job, and then I started serving, been serving ever since. And very passionate about what we, kind of what I do. And that's why I'm passionate behind it, because and I kind of put my money where my wife my mouth is, right. I
Mhm.
put my own son in this
Mhm.
district,
Absolutely.
because we believe, my wife and I believe in the public education system, and we believe that every child should receive a fair quality education, and we can get that in here in the city of Paterson. Our classrooms, my desire, my passion is our classroom should look like any other classroom when you step out of Paterson, whether it's Wayne, Heldon, North Heldon, whichever way you step out of Paterson, those are different worlds. And our kids, those types of education, those type of classrooms, those type of schools, all those different things.
Awesome, awesome. It sounds so
And I
good.
won't stop till we get
No, Nate, it's your show.
there.
So the thing that which I really appreciate about you, that because you are coming from a teaching point of view, and you know the its and bits of inside, and you also have the courage to say what's not working. uh,
Yeah.
so I want to know from you, as you were an employee before, you coming from there, and now then you got into the other side. Do you think that you people can make more of an impact when they're in this side than the other?
Repeat that one more time. I didn't hear you.
So you were a teacher, you were an educator.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
actually have seen, you were a coach, you have seen, what works, what doesn't work.
Correct.
And I really appreciate when you said that, different
Correct.
sites, even within the city of Paterson, the different atmosphere,
Correct.
different resources and treatments. Um, and you have decided to step down from your educational career and coming
Hmm.
into this side. So do you think that you make more of an impact being on this side than on the other?
Oh yeah, it has benefits. Everybody that's my colleagues that's on the board, they haven't worked in the education field, but they know that they see challenges, they see different things. But definitely, you have a better advantage of knowing different things. I was one of my only colleagues. I'm the only one on the board that worked in our public school system. So I saw everything kind of day to day. I saw the data. I saw how things are ran, and that's why I wondered, like, this has to change. And a lot of things we have changed, from the operational things, policy. One of them. I'm a big. We're policy makers,
Hmm.
and we updated so many different policies that change how we run our district, how our children learn, how our children get on a bus, what holidays we celebrate, what holidays we don't celebrate anymore. Wrote a lot of different policies, because and that favors kids. That really favors kids, and also our educators.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely an advantage.
Okay. So, how do you see the new Patterson with its changes? Because I know it's a new slogan with a lot of politicians using a new Patterson, a better Patterson. How do you see that Patterson is fitting when it comes to education?
I think we're doing a great job. I think we're right on the path. Yes, I know a lot of people say, "Hey, the pandemic set us back educationally." Yes, it did, as it did many other things, right? But I
Mhm.
think we're right on the same path, when it definitely comes to diversity, right? In our district, we have teachers that look like all of our different children, from all different types of cultures. We're open to, we accept all of our kids that come from other different countries. We just set up a elementary school, so because they face different challenges when they come to America, so we transition them in there. And then now this past year, we extended it to a high school, newcomers high school, so we could do those different things. Um, when we look at, when we're talking about diversity, also I wrote a policy, because a lot of our Muslim students, Arabic students, they wasn't. I remember I was hearing different complaints. Our kids are not eating. Our kids are not eating the lunch. They don't eat the food. I had to write a policy that, yeah, hey, we got to be open to everybody. Let's have like different halal options, in culture foods. So we did that in our district, and we, and we want to roll that out in all of our different schools. It was hard because it was hard finding a vendor, but listen, we got to take care of all of our students,
Yes.
because if kids are eating right, they're learning well,
Yep.
right? And I say this all the time. Our Bangladesh and our Arabic kids are the top performing kids in the district, so we got to take care of them. Why they're here, but I think when I get all those different slogans, I get all of them, but I just want to make effective schools, right? I want to govern over effective schools. I want to make each and every school effective, right? So if a student moves from one side of Patterson to the other side of Patterson, that student won't slack back. They have the same after school program. They have the same resources. They have the same style teachers. That's gonna push them over it. So that's what I'm fighting for, and that's what I'm working towards. Effective schools were like kind of district wide, and it's almost, I always use this example. It's like watching a uh, NFL game or NBA game, right? If you go to a New York Giant game, right, you're going to get the same experience if you go to a Dallas Cowboy game that's hundreds of thousands of miles away, right? It's hundreds of miles away, but you get that same experience. That you get the how you walk into the stadium, how you do those different things, the look, it may be different. They have different, styles and whatever,
Mhm.
and that's what makes us unique. Our wards are different, right? We have
Mhm.
a strong population of this community here in this ward versus this ward. So you're gonna do little things, it's gonna look a little different, and that's okay. But is it
Absolutely.
effective? Is it effective? And that's what we want. Do we want the same effectiveness?
Yeah, actually, you answered. Then my next question was that because Paterson is a extremely diverse city, which is, I think that's the
Correct.
richness. That's why it's called the melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
We have each ward has different Arabs, Bangladeshi, Hispanic, African Americans. All different ethnicity, and that's what makes this city so rich and also challenging when it comes to educational field. So my next question is that I know that you also are a parent. Um, in terms of public school, you already told me that you and your wife prefers the kids to go to public school.
Correct.
Now, within public schools, there are Patterson Public School and charter school.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you differentiate?
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's a thing where am I pro charter, non pro charter, right? So my thing is this, right? If um if we have, I'm for parent choice,
Mhm.
right? Parents should have the choice to send their kids wherever they want.
Mhm.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that.
Mhm.
I'm for parent choice. But I was talking to some board members in Wayne, right? And they was telling me how how Passaic County Tech is expanding and all that. We was talking about those different challenges, how heavy population of Patterson school. But Wayne kids don't get affected, right? Because why? Wayne public schools don't get affected. Why? Because their schools are effective, right? Their parents were like, "Hey, we're effective. I don't need to send my kid nowhere else. They can stay right here in Wayne public schools." So my point is, we have to do a better job of hiring our bar, making sure our kids have the resources, making sure our teachers have the resources to do the things they need to do. We got to make sure our meals are healthy for our kids, and making sure that we are equitable with all of our children. We have to make sure that when we receive our budget, we got to make sure we're thinking about our students first, and making sure that budget reflects, our students, not special interests. So if so, those all of those different things and plenty other more goes into having making a effective school, and then you have an effective district, right? So if you have an effective district, your kid's not going nowhere. Your parents want to have their children here. They are proud to have their children here.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So that's many times because the curriculum is a little different between public school and charter school, and and the approach is different as well. The PTO is different and PTA is different, but it's good to have a choice when it comes to the parents. My next question is actually, before I go that, I want to acknowledge that in our audience we have Amir Hamza, which is our very supporting audience all the time. They join us, and we have Commissioner Anand Shah. Thank you for joining. And we have Farah Hussain. Thank you for joining. Please, people, ladies and gentlemen, ask your questions. This is your time. It's an open forum. So whatever question you guys have, please do ask. Uh, thank you. Anand Shah is sending all the thumbs up and hearts. um, okay, so the next question is, I know because of pandemic, we lots of teachers in Paterson Public School and the union, that they were complete. It was a huge commotion going on, and so what is your take in that? Um, we are lacking in teachers. Last year in John Taylor's school, my son goes there. So in seventh grade, the whole year he did not had a teacher for science.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very it's like I feel for our kids, but we are faced with reality, right? And I hate to really sometimes it's not an excuse and it's not a way out of our issue and our problem. There it had, since the pandemic, really took a beating on the teaching kind of career field. A lot of teachers, for many different reasons, retired, didn't want to come back because all of, it got real political, not only in our district, in every district across America. We've been working hard of coming up ways on how to hire more teachers, how to hire more subs. If you know anybody that want to go into teaching, this is the great time to get into education. Actually, before, this was a market that was hard to get into, but it's a great career. Uh, but this, I tell young people all the time, this is the time to get in. If in, it's a great opportunities. You know, uh, Down the road, get into the state pension and all those different things. But getting back to the real issue is, what are we doing about it, right? I get all the data. I get, yes. But what are we doing? How are we coming up with ways? And we press the district, we press our administration to come up with unique ways. So we came up with sign-on bonuses. So teachers, and other districts are doing sign-on bonuses as well.
Mhm.
You got. I'm just going to use this. You have. We did 7,500 sign-on bonus. Then you probably have another district doing 10,000 sign-on bonus. So
Mhm.
everybody like kind of moving around trying to get their best payday, because that's what it is. We have a big, not a teacher shortage problem, but a bus driver shortage as well, because everybody's like kind of moving around, and our bus operators are having a hard time retaining bus drivers. But right now we are in negotiations with our union. I can't really speak about those different things because we are in negotiations, but we are going to get a contract for our teachers. We're going to get the best one that we can do, and we're a lot further than what the news may portray or anything. But if we could sign today, we'll do it for our educators, because we want to make sure that we retain teachers. We want to keep teachers here. We want people to grow here, here in our district in Paterson. But it's a time right now where education, where you can name your price and you can kind of go wherever. So and especially, it's like those science teachers that you're talking about, they're very like valuable right now. It's like if you had the opportunity to get LeBron James on your team, name your price, kind of thing, because it's a shortage in those different areas. So, but we're still. I did another. We talked about it in closed session. Another opportunity. How we're going to get teachers here. So we're working on it, and it's another rule that happens. We just hired a big slew of teachers, but a lot of people don't know the rules, right? They don't understand this process. We hired some other teachers from other districts that wanted to come on to Paterson. They heard about our sign-on bonus, and then they wanted to work in a bigger district. But what happens is their district can hold them up to 60 days, right? Because they contract, that's the union contract. They can hold them
Mhm.
up to 60 days. So now we hired, now you can't start to another 60 days. So we still like faced with those like challenges. So but I want to give it up to our administrators and our principals doing the best they can, kind of, you know, uh, dealing with the new norm, you know.
It is very difficult,
It is.
especially
It
with the
is.
kids.
It is.
And you're absolutely right. Kids are changing. The new norm is different from hybrid to normal and normal to hybrid.
Definitely.
Kids got used to not being social, and their social life is only on the media. And
Facts.
then that's another policy. You are we letting the kids come in the school with the phones, and it is pretty challenging. Challenges
Mm-hmm.
are much different. We have a question from one of our viewers, Amir Hamza, that what is the school district doing for children to protect them from vaping? I have heard school has police, but teenagers still do it. If we can please put the question on the screen.
Yeah, I can't really see the question, but what are we doing? Just take Eastside. I was just in Eastside High School, actually dealing with this exact problem. What are we doing? As soon as our security staff, teachers, anybody, we confiscate them. I wish I could show you pictures from my phone on how many vapes and stuff we collect, right? But where are the kids getting these vapes, right? If you look on Market Street, right behind Eastside High School, you
Mhm.
have all these different stores selling vapes to minors. These different businesses. I'm on the school system. I don't control the city and enforcement on those different things, but we have to hold these stores accountable, and also we have to hold parents accountable as well,
Absolutely.
because they're aware that they once we confiscate it, the school makes a report right away that, hey, your kid is vaping. And we, there's a whole plan that, that the parents got to be held accountable. The store owners got to be held accountable. Stop selling stuff to minors to make a quick buck. Those different things. But the district's stance on it is, hey, if we see it, we confiscate it and we report it, and then we try to get that student help, because we don't want, today you're vaping, tomorrow you're on something else. So we try to address those different issues right away once we're aware about it.
So
And
that
vapes are so hard to catch, right? Because they look like USB cords. The USB thing, they so small. But but our staff, they do a great job of like kind of catching it and all those other things. And they're not police. They're not police officers. These are regular security officers, or these are regular teachers. So
it's
once they see it, smell it, they or they hear about it, we have a plan in place that we take care of it, and also not to punish the student, to give the kid resource, because you're going down a road that you don't need to go down.
Yeah, and then again, that opens another chapter off, because in the last election there was a question about if we agreed for marijuana to be legalized or not, and what is your intake about
um my take is about, I think that uh the law is the law. It's a law now, but it's just like, I guess it's just like alcohol. um you know it's legal. I don't partake in that, but because I still don't even think it's real, kind of thing.
that?
I
Yeah,
always
it
grew
is
up.
difficult.
uh,
It makes the whole scenario difficult for the school and kids and
yeah,
controlling.
it's great, but I was just at a school board conference, right? And in the state of Colorado, they have classes in their public school that they're teaching the kids on how to grow marijuana because it's a business. And I was like, oh, this is the culture shock for me, but it's a new norm. It's legal, but it's state regulated, not federal regulated yet. So that's a challenge on this more the city end. But my stance is, um, you got to be of age to do it. To partake. Don't be underage doing it. And but our kids, they still, get a hold of these things and stuff like that. But we want to have a plan in place when we find out that our kids are partaking in these different things. How can we do to help? What can we do to help them? Because today is marijuana, tomorrow's could be something else.
Absolutely. And actually, you're right. PCC is teaching that course of how to
Yeah,
legally grow, and it's starting November 10th. It's only $500 to get.
and it's a multi-million-dollar business really now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay. So next question is about special needs. I know for one child in any district, it costs way more for special needs students. And I do see that when the regular students are not getting the education where they need it, these students do get pushed behind. Where is your intake in that, and your future plans with that?
yeah. So my thing on special needs, I think everybody needs to have updated one IEP, and
Mhm.
making sure my stance on this is very clear to the administration. We fight for making sure all the kids are evaluated. If they're not evaluated, they need to get evaluated, and then we find out why they haven't been evaluated. And having an updated IEP so that student can get those different services that they need, right? We're finding ways in our new schools, and finding more space because we do have a heavy population of our
Mhm.
special needs students, and
Yeah.
making sure that they have a safe space for learning, and making sure they get the resources that they need. And we're
Mhm.
actively growing, kind of growing in that kind of department and in that field. We're not perfect. We're far from perfect. And I don't want to put that out there like we are perfect. We're not perfect. And sometimes this is a very delicate topic, because some kids are really severe with special needs. They high on the spectrum, or either low on the spectrum. But especially those things concern me, and we do everything we can to. If we can't do it, we outsource it, right? We outsource it to another district or to another service that comes in and get it to give that student what they need. So it's our job to make sure that we're holding the administration accountable. And people tell me all the time that, hey, I'm not getting this service. Hey, I'm not getting this busing. I'm not getting. We write on it. We're right on it, making sure that we're doing the best job that we can.
Okay. So in terms of that, professional development for the teachers, when it comes to special need is, something to really help them build. That is something that I personally would, that's my personal request to you, because I do work with special need. Teachers, we cannot expect from teachers unless they're not actually equipped, you know, with and things are changing, and it's a very hard job, trust me,
I
dealing with
get it.
kids. You really need to be a special person. And
You do that in that area. Working with our special ed departments and stuff like that, you really have to heart. You have to have a heart for kids. That's just not a clock in
yeah,
8:30 and clock out at 3. You have
abs-
to really care for those students, and we do a good job of that. My son actually is very low on the spectrum.
mhm,
In Paterson Public School, he gets speech therapy, he gets physical, all these different things. They're doing an evaluation, and we're actually starting and holding accountable that we really target if the kid on the spectrum coming into pre-K. Let's get this early. Let's attack it early.
absolutely.
Let's put more resources in starting it early than when that kid is in high school.
Mhm.
Let's try to get it early. and not because it's just my son. I want it for all kids. But like,
Yes.
what are we doing for all pre-Ks? What are we doing for all kindergartens? What are we doing from K to 3? From K to 3, that's the most important time. How we evaluating our kids, and that's very important. Where they at? Not even special needs kids, just all of our kids, right? Where they at on the reading spectrum? Where they at on math, language? Where they at on there? Where they at our special needs department? Where they at with speech? Where they at, because they get older, they don't get younger. So
Absolutely.
the older they get, the bigger the problem. So if we catch it there, if we nip those problems early, then I think we'd be a better effective schools.
Yeah. Another closer to last question because we are actually already on our time when it comes to
Oh man,
especially.
I'm enjoying this.
I know 30 minutes is flew away.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So evaluation takes 8 to 9 months.
For
Any child coming into a new spectrum with the board of ed, evaluation when it's early intervention, once they're done into early intervention and they're coming to preschool programs, so the switching from early intervention to the school, and if that child doesn't have services like early intervention, then god help those kids even more. I know.
yeah,
So that is something that we also need to keep in mind. Now, last question. I know it's very political. The change of superintendent. Do we have someone in mind?
we'll find out Tuesday, right? But the thing is I don't think it's political to ask, but it's a very where this board is faced with actually a good problem, right?
Mhm.
We presented the community with three effective, highly skilled, highly qualified, highly motivated to come to Paterson and change our district, and to
Mhm.
really change our district, and take it to the next level, right? We're like here, right? We need somebody that come in to be innovative, to be diverse, to be well rounded, and into tune with our community, so they can take our district to the next level. To bring well, we already started with um more like cosmetology now. We're rolling it out. We just rolled that out. We rolling out more. We have plumbing, we have carpentry, we have all of the different things that we're doing now. So we are serving all of our students. We're making sure that all we are when we graduate our students, they are college ready, of course,
Mhm.
and now also putting a big emphasis on career readiness, right? So when I was coming up, it was always go to high school, go to college. That's the truth. It was never career ready. It was always you got to make students college ready. No, we are doing a great job in moving that direction. So the next superintendent got a big job on their hands,
Mhm.
right? They got a lot of changes, got a lot of things to do, but the ball is rolling in the right court. We presented the community with three highly effective candidates, right? I think one is out of Texas, and two out of New Jersey, and one was actually here in this district as well. The other one is highly effective in Bridgeton. Young guy, he's bilingual as well, and he brings a lot. I saw his presentation, just like everybody else. Presentation was great, and and when it came to equity and all those different things, and just his plan. And then we had a guy from Texas, that kind of came in and gave his plan, gave a, he wanted us to be in the top kind of five when it comes to education and all those other different things. And so we had three great candidates. So we're faced with the board is faced with a hard, decision, but it's a good problem, right? It's not like, oh, this one, but we're faced with a good problem. We have three good candidates with three great backgrounds.
Okay, good to know.
So
Uh,
next week we'll find out.
yes, I know I said last question, but I myself as
Keep
a
it
parent.
coming. I'm on the road. I didn't even drink
um,
my water yet.
I don't think that you need it.
Nah.
One major lack that I see in schools is, extracurricular activities and not having enough gyms and things to play. Like my daughter, when she was in international high school, attending the baccalaureate program, she used to come to Kennedy to, join the team there. John Taylor School, awesome facility, beautiful school, but there's no games going on, no after school. This is the second year, so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So now that we're back in person now, now that we're back kind of rolling over like a 2.5 year hiatus, we're that's what we're focused on. We have a lot of money that came in from ESSA, from the federal
Mhm,
dollars, that focus on helping kids with social and emotional learning, learning loss, the closing the homework gap,
mhm,
all these different things. So that's what we're focused on, making sure kids have a space, because we want to educate our children from, really 7 to 7, right? You get them 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. You're doing education, and with 3 p.m. to 7 with extra activity. Not so much, do some little bit more education, different clubs,
mhm,
engineering clubs, STEM clubs, homework club, all of the different things are good. And also having activity clubs, from chess, from sports clubs, all these different things that would, that help educate the whole child. Our dinner program is running back up, because children wasn't going home eating dinner, and our breakfast program is finally back.
mhm,
So it's a lot that we're rolling back. It's a lot that we're rolling out. I'm sorry, not back, rolling out on. Since we've been back, but it's been challenging because one has been lack of staff. So it's like we want to do all these good things, we really do, but it's the staffing that we're kind of lacking. But we're coming up with some good ideas. We are talking to some community partners that are already doing tutoring programs, already doing other recreational program. We have a great partnership with our recreation department in the city of Paterson, that we have a shared service. So if we all working together, right, we can do this together, And so that's what I bring to the table, is being an effective leader and a proven leader, to where I work with all the different entities. I have great relationships with it. We all probably don't agree on the same ideology, but hey, but when it comes to kids first, or we got to do this for kids, right? Let's put all the political stuff aside. We got to think kids first. So that's where we at, and that's where we're going. And this board is willing to work with any board, or kind of political leaders, our political council, our council, all those different things. So this board willing to do the work, and I'm willing to do the work and keep my. And so, but I need everybody's support so we could do these great things. So we can have different great programming and stuff like that. Rolling in the right direction.
yeah,
And it took a while, but
mhm.
we're here. You know,
And I believe in acknowledging and appreciating, because I know the STEM program has started last Saturday.
yep.
I signed my son up, and he was attending Saturday whole.
Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, 9 to 12 o'clock.
Yes,
Yeah, amazing program.
yes.
So
Yes, our PTO programs are running. Our PTO
mhm,
workshops are running. We had about 200 parents in those different things, sharing the things that we're doing district wide. And also we advise parents to get involved, so you know what's going on.
mhm.
So you're aware what's going on, and all those different things, so your children can receive all these different resources. Our schools, all of our different schools across the district, do a unique job of offering different things for their schools after school.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so I know we went 8 minutes beyond, but again, I want to appreciate you, and I want to give you last comments that you have for our audience.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and give your
How
last
much time do I have? I know I'm over 8.
as much as you want. You're
No, I'm
supposed
not
to
gonna.
be
I'm
the
not.
political leader.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be before you guys long. But I am respectful of this platform and very grateful of this platform,
You're
and
very
bringing me on, and taking the time out to listen and ask questions, because education is very important. Educating our kids are very important. So uh, I am running for reelection. Um, we almost, I think, Commissioner, I think we're 9 days out. Or, I'm like the mayor says, I don't really count the days to make the days count, kind of thing. But I am, and I ask for your support. Humbly ask for your support. A lot of great things that Commissioner Amber I was just talking about this last hour. When it comes from program, when it comes from education, when it comes from personnel selecting, giving our children resources, all these different things. These are the things that I'm fighting for. These are the things that I fought for and still fighting for. They're making sure that we have effective schools. When you send your child to school, whether it's on a bus or you drop it, making sure that they have the best experience every day of going to school, making sure that they're proud of their school, making sure the facilities look good, making sure their classroom looks good, making sure the classroom looks like any other classroom outside of this town, making sure that it's equitable around. So whatever our kids are getting in the sixth ward, making sure they get in the second ward, the second ward is getting in the fourth ward, and ongoing. So I just want to make sure that we're being equitable all across the way. And it takes good leaders and it takes strong leaders to make sure it's accountability that's being held to our superintendent and to the administration. And I'm that guy. I'm sometimes unconventional, but you got to do unconventional things to get things done. But at the end of the day, it's for the betterment of our children. And like I said, my money is where my mouth is. My children are in this district, and that's why I'm passionate about it. And that's why I will hold anybody accountable because one, my son is in this district, and whatever I want for my son, I want for your children too. So I beg you, I ask you for your support, humbly ask you for your support, and I won't let your vote down. And that's it for me. I could keep going on and on, but Amber about to put the clock on. But I really thank you, Commissioner, thank you for bringing me on tonight. Thank you for bringing me on to your audience. I deeply appreciate it. And look forward to having more conversations like this because I think it's healthy and it's great to let the public know and the community know what's going on and getting to know different candidates and getting to hear their different platforms, not just seeing not seeing just mailers or whatever, and telling somebody to vote for them. But these are the reasons why I want you to vote for me. These are the reasons why, because I'm truly fighting for your children.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Manuel. I wish you all the best. And these are my messages and requests to all the public out there and who are going to be listening to this program later on. Commissioner is fighting for the third time. His number is 1F. And as you guys all have heard, effective school, effective community, and throughout the wards, everything, it's the same presentation which is happening in one ward to the other one. This is very rare to hear because most of the time we do see that, oh, I don't want to send my kid to east side, I'm
Right.
going to change the address and
Exactly.
ask somebody else to put the address. So that's his whole throughout, that you're trying to do that. And equitability, and we are very diverse throughout Paterson. We need all, Muslims, non-Muslims, Hindu, Sikh, Isai, whatever your ethnicity is, you're Arab, you are Bengali, you're Pakistani,
That's right.
Hispanic. We are, and as you said that, teachers are looking like as the kids. So working together, a father who has been a product of teachers and who has came from the teaching world and coming on the other side and who has the guts to say it. So I personally, Commissioner, wish you all the best. You got my vote. I'm saying it openly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you again with another candidate. Thank you. And Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Appreciate you.